Alright everyone, welcome back once again to the Osumania 4Key World Cup 2021. My name is Juan Crystal, commentating alongside Ravel. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm back again.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again. Anyway,
Let's go.
We are back for another Asia match. That's why I'm here.
Yo, top side of the losers bracket. Let's go. This is
Now we are finally
the
concluding
Asian
the first
bracket.
half. The first
Yep.
half of the loser bracket. Yep.
Interesting matchup here, actually. This might be two of the biggest surprises throughout the entire tournament. Vietnam being seed number 5 for like as a big surprise to literally everybody. Nobody expected a team that was historically considered an unseeded team, albeit one of the strongest, to qualify as seed number 5, which is a big shock. I mean, at least for me, it was very
Yeah, definitely for
surprising
me too.
and very very nice to see. And then you have a country like Indonesia, who is always a dangerous country historically tournament wise as well. But this time with their seed being not so good, but knocking down really solid teams like Chile, like Argentina, like so many good teams throughout the losers bracket and the winners bracket as well. And they are probably the biggest upset, I think, in the entire tournament so far.
Yeah,
Not
they are.
necessarily in terms of seeding, but just in terms of results throughout the bracket stage.
I mean, they are still the lowest seed alive in this tournament. I think they're lower than Japan, right?
They, what did you say? Like, wait, they would be facing Japan if they win this?
No, no,
Or
no. I mean, are they lower seeded than Japan? I think they are lower
oh,
seeded than
yeah.
Japan.
At this point, Indonesia is the lowest
Yeah.
seed that is remaining for sure.
Yep.
There's no questions about it. Like most of the upsets came from Indonesia. I think they defeated Argentina, which was a pretty close seed, but it was still in favor of them. But then they beat Chile, which was definitely a better seed than.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me.
That was a big surprise as well.
Big surprise to many people. Yeah.
Even avoided the tiebreaker, right? They avoided the tiebreaker though in the matchup. And here we are now into the picks and bans here between these two, and we already see Cloud, the SV, being banned, and Del Rio being mapped as well by Vietnam. A bit surprising. I think Del Rio could potentially be qualified as the easiest long no map to some people, but then it could also argue to be one of the hardest to some others. So
I mean, I think Vietnam just do not want Indonesia to be playing LNs against them because Indonesia is such a strong LN unit.
yeah, I think that's fair, and they might just want to keep around Werewolf House, which, in my opinion, is the hardest Lamino map in the pool, because it's so physically demanding as well that they might want to bank on their abilities to out-physically perform Indonesia. Perhaps in an LN map, they might be able to take it anyway.
Yeah, and Vietnam opening up with Make It Funky Now, which is the reading SV. Vietnam have a better score than Indonesia on Marissa last weekend. We'll see if that will play a part.
Well, Make It Funky Now, it's different than Marisha in some ways. Like, I don't want to say it's easier, but it's different. It's certainly different. Marisha had like a very heavy choke points in general, and Make It Funky Now has this thing that is easier to hit consistently if you train it, because the patterns are not really all that difficult at all. They are just hard to read, which is essentially the essence of an SV pick for the most part.
Yeah, indeed. We are going to see mashed potato here. I think we don't really see mashed potato that often.
Yeah, I don't recall him playing all that often, as you said, but I'm pretty sure he played a fair amount on the previous Mania World Cup, at least for Vietnam. So he's definitely an experienced player.
Yeah. Now he is back too, remember?
Yo, he's back.
Back
We
from the
did
void.
it. I remember that much. That was an interesting thing between Chile and Indonesia. A fun fact that happened where Nayu had some issues internet-wise. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again this time. You never want to see internet issues in any team, in any player. But hey, we're gonna have some laughs, and it doesn't hurt the score of the matchup. Then, I mean, I'm all up for the drama. And we see Ice B with a hidden mod here for this particular map.
Oh,
And for reading
Hidden?
SV, hidden is interesting.
yeah. That is very interesting. Yeah, usually you don't really see visual mods come into play for SVs, even if you are a visual mod user. Well, Ice V holding the best score on Indonesia's side.
Yeah, he had a bit of a rough start, but now that he hit the combo cap, he's getting his lane cover consistent, which is definitely going to help him.
Yeah, but it does seem like Vietnam in general have stronger scores overall. As you can see, Lottery with 99.8.
Yeah, Lottery is doing such a good job here. It's outperforming even ISB from Indonesia and then everybody else as well for their counterparts. So Vietnam is having a very substantial lead right here, a very decisive one. But there are some strange and tricky mini jacks over here, and some of the LN patterns require a lot of coordination to release. So if a miss happens, the map doesn't really have the node density for Vietnam to drop and keep the lead. They could potentially lose this map if they miss at some point soon, but so long as they maintain this cover together, they should be able to easily win this against Indonesia. As you see, Nayu and I Can Play are dropping almost both below the 99% mark, and Vietnam is just destroying the char mashed potato, struggling a little bit on it, but Asrieli and Lottie are just completely crushing the char. I think they're both beyond double-missing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised as well with those high accuracies. This should definitely be a definitive Vietnam point to start off the match.
And as much as IceB try with his hidden, it's not gonna be enough here to take down the top seed Vietnam. SB1, make it funky now. It's a point in favor of Vietnam here. Lottery with the B1 double S taking the number one spot for this matchup, followed up by Asrieli with an amazing ratio as well, almost 10-1, 992,000 points, and of course IceB with the hidden, not that far behind, only 7,000 points off, but then the difference is just too big compared to the other two Indonesians here. Vietnam takes the first point on their own pick, and now Indonesia has to pick probably long nodes to try and counterattack this Vietnamese pick.
Yeah, they'll definitely be going for LN, but actually the Rice game isn't too far off. Like, they have better scores over Vietnam on like Rain Shower, You Don't Know, Super Anime Group.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go for Dodger's Gadget here though. I think it's a okay pick to start to get rolling in an island department. It's usually one of those picks that you can handle very well if you're a long node player, because it doesn't get all that fast, although with 1.05 it's a big difference compared to the original version. But it requires so many long node fundamentals that if you're going up against a team that doesn't really have those, like potentially Vietnam up to this stage, then you might struggle a little bit with it physically, but you should still be able to out-accuracy and win it regardless. So we'll see if they go for that. I would try to avoid the Werewolf House until it's absolutely necessary, and Present Valkyrie of course is there if they want to go for it, but I would try Dodger's Gadget and force Vietnam to think what do they want to do to this map, which is potentially Rise. And once you have a picture of Rise, then you can see if you want to pick a Rise to throw the opponents off or something like that. But there's Werewolf House instead for a first pick. Okay,
that's fine.
Interesting.
That's a fine pick too, yeah.
I mean, I personally would have avoided this of the LN picks, but because it's LN, it's probably gonna work fine regardless for Indonesia. We'll see.
Yeah, I think Indonesia will shred this. I think maybe they might want to save Dodger's Gadget later, because Dodger's Gadget can be pretty mind-blockable. The intro, especially the LN wall, it's a lot of choke points, at least compared to Werewolf House up here. Now we'll definitely be seeing some swaps here. You see Onta Bakasi, Rei coming in for Indonesia. You'll definitely see some swaps from the Vietnam side as well. I think Chidon coming in.
I'm actually curious, like from the previous matches, what were the bans that we often see, right? Cloud has been pretty much permanently banned so far.
Cloud's just gone.
But what about the other one? Like, Del Rio was banned here, but in the previous matches, was it well?
Del Rio was picked last match, but before that, which was... Oh gosh,
okay, for Philippines, Indonesia...
Del Rio banned too. I know Del Rio banned twice.
So Philippines, Singapore was Snows alongside Cloud.
Yep.
I'm gonna check the others. So for France and South Korea, it was Cloud as well, and Star of Andromeda, so not the Rio. And then Japan, China, that was the Rio. That's the one you were looking for. That's the one that got them rebanned.
Yep. I think it was Devil and Cloud, so exactly the same as this one.
The same as here. So it seems like Vietnam is struggling to find a third player to play this.
Yeah, I think they got it covered now because Lottery is in the lobby. Yep. We should be getting
Lovely L.
soon.
It's interesting here though, because we saw Japan playing against China on Domino's overall, and Japan did super crazy good compared to what my expectations were in the first place. And considering they are like pretty much a specifically Rice team, I found that very, very surprising. And maybe Vietnam has the same thing, although I don't think it is the case. They are swapping most of their tournament players for this particular map. And it's mostly due to the fact that they just struggle with the land so much in general. We can see that Lovely L is already having some issues in the start, but then recover nicely. And they're going to be holding the lead actually out of this intro where Nayu and Onta both struggle a little bit in terms of accuracy.
And now we're getting the map really underway, and you can see some accuracy recoveries. Now you just kind of stuck around the 99.2, but the lead should definitely shrink now. Indonesia's trying to get back into the swing.
Definitely tightening this lead. They are making it look closer as time goes on. Nayu's accuracy is climbing, but now there's the miss. Oh my god. The caster curse is real.
That could be a mystery from Nayu's side, and Vietnam now have a good cushion.
Yeah, absolutely. The accuracy is looking a little bit better as well. Like if you match them, Lovely L is outplaying Reggie, and Onta and Sivelia are essentially having the same score. But then you see Lottery and Nayu, there's one miss of difference in favor of Vietnam, and then there's the accuracy, which is also in favor of Vietnam here. So they're definitely in a very comfortable spot. They will have to be very careful though, because if they miss, they can easily column up in maps like this, and that is definitely going to be enough for Indonesia to catch up. As you can see, the difference is actually getting closer as we speak.
Yeah, accuracy from Vietnam's side now starting to dwindle down. Onta Bakassi now holding the best accuracy in the lobby from the shaky start that they had. This lead is shrinking ever so slightly.
It is the one miss from Nayu though that's keeping Indonesia second place here, but there's misses by Lottery and Sivelia.
Oh my goodness!
Just completely destroyed by this section. Very heavy coordination and releases requirement, and they are not capable of hitting it. That's just destruction for Vietnam as Indonesia at the end clutches the victory.
That was a complete collapse. That just happened in a snap.
Yeah, that was just the fastest Thanos snap I ever seen in Mania World Cup 2021.
That has to be a record or something. That just in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, the difference was like comfortably in Vietnam's side. Sure, it was getting a little bit closer as time progressed, mostly because of Lottery's accuracy. But then at some point during the last chorus, those triples, those hands with different release timings alongside the coordination of holding, sometimes even quads, a bit too difficult for Lottery and Sivelia to handle. And they lost it after all by the end of it. And not by much, actually. They lost it by 22,000 points at the end, but they were definitely on the lead until those last 15 seconds.
Because that was a chain of misses, yep. And this is why it's not over till it's over.
Yep, chain of misses, a rush of 200s, everything that could go wrong just happened to go wrong for Vietnam at the very end of the map when they were holding so solidly. They had the three-way FC, that's all they needed, and even still, at the end of the day, the chokes were real. And Vietnam has to make their call once again. They don't have SVs anymore to go for, so...
They're going snows.
They're gonna go for snows, apparently. So straight into more of a consistency / stamina pick to some degree.
Yeah, this is definitely the stamina pick. It's 4 minutes long. And he's at 242 BPM. Very interesting though, because I know that Indonesia have a very good thinking of view score. They were 4th on it. They got 2.97 mil. I was a little bit interested in this too because I was thinking Vietnam could go for Star of Andromeda. They have a very solid project score compared to Indonesia.
Well, but they were probably banking on the fact that they can have accuracy, I think, Indonesia when it comes to ratio, so they might as well try to go for something that is more tunnel vision heavy, something that is more just go thing, like Snows is, like the jump stream pick from the pool, which is the easiest one to just like ratio, tunnel ratio.
Yeah, definitely. It's very easy with just tunnel vision ratio, but what I'm a little bit worried is that not all of these players are very consistent for 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We might see some misses. That's the big problem, yeah.
That is definitely the problem. Now we are talking that this is like structurally, so at least, is it one of the maps that you can tunnel vision the most and just go on full ham, no problems, full ratio, bananas mode. But it's 4 minutes and it's 242 BPM. That is very fast. So
it is.
And we're talking about two teams that struggle a little bit when it comes to late game. So as much as I want to bet on Vietnam on this because of just their like accuracy superiority, I'm talking about, for example, Asrieli, one of the most accurate players in the world. They're definitely going to have the advantage in that regard. But I don't really expect many full combos, if any full combo from this map in particular, for both of the teams actually.
Yeah,
we might see one each.
Yeah, it really just comes down to FCs, I think, because this map is so long. You're bound to miss somewhere if you're just lose concentration. Yeah, 3-Don Gaming already slipping away at the start. But it's okay, it's only the first 400 notes, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal.
It was on the first 60 notes, I think, in fact. So
yeah,
when they reach the combo cap, if they ever reach it, I can play if being the first to miss an Indonesia sign. I told you, this is not a map we're gonna see that many full combos on.
Yeah, and if you're already missing at the first half a minute, can you imagine holding on for another 3.5 more? There you go, another one for Michael play.
Meanwhile, Asrieli is holding an amazingly good accuracy as expected, 99.91%. Yeah. Really good ratio over there, but it is mostly off the back of Icon Play's misses here.
Yep.
To some degree, honoring his name, I guess. He's not being able to play this all that well, unfortunately. Well, you have some time to recover here. There is this break, and I think after this, there's no really breaks anymore. There's no more breaks anymore. This is just
there's like only one break.
Oh, I can play missing once more. Okay, he struggled very hard on this. He might have a wrong scroll speed or something, because some of those misses are looking very awkward. Maybe the keyboard might function. Yeah, just look at that. Those misses are somewhat clean, yet he still finds a way. And because of that, Vietnam is just in a huge lead. The map that is 4 minutes long. They are about 30,000 points in their favor. There's a miss there by Try-Dome Gaming, but it's not gonna matter too much. The difference is just massive.
Yeah, as long as Asrieli and Cyberly are holding, that's all that matters right now for Vietnam.
Absolutely here. To think the lowest score right now is by Try-Dome Gaming with a 99.77 on the Vietnamese side, and he had 2 misses. It's very impressive. Like, Vietnam overall has an amazing accuracy as a team in this. And Reggie and RetroX are... Yeah, Reggie and RetroX are actually not so far than tying the 2 lowest scores from Vietnam, but the difference between Asrieli and Icon Play is just like super big, like super crazy big. Icon Play has like 6 misses, Asrieli has none. And his accuracy dropping as time goes on. His accuracy is tanking due to the stamina factor for sure, but he's doing so much better than everybody else. 0.05 of accuracy in a map like this is a big difference, especially when you get into this sharp shooting 99.85 plus.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They're still going on. We're already in the final quarter of the map. Try-Dome missing again, but again, that's not gonna hurt Vietnam too much because it really just has to come down to Asrieli and Cyberly just holding on.
I'm honestly surprised though that we're seeing 4 full combos on this. That is very impressive. There's another miss there
I
by
mean,
Down Gaming. And honestly, I think this I can play. Oh well, he actually misses again. I was about
oh,
to mention. Maybe it's just his keyboard that is malfunctioning because he was holding so well in the second half, but he then finds another miss and seems like we're gonna see a 4-way FC on this map in particular. That's very, very impressive. But Vietnam is gonna be taking this as long as nothing very crazy happens here. They are
Yeah.
comfortably in the lead.
Yep, this will be a second point to Vietnam. If all things go well.
Oh,
Never
so many
mind.
misses.
Well, it is still a point to Vietnam, but
That's really starting to hit a little bit too late. You can see his stamina
Yeah,
definitely
SLE.
starting to tank. His ratio going down.
It's dipping a little bit, but it's still going to be MVP of the lobby.
Is he though? Rage is very close. I think it will. Yeah, there it is. He gets the
Okay, let's see this.
995,000 points.
Ray
Vietnam
doing pretty well.
wins this.
Ooh.
Actually had the worst ratio of the team. That's surprising.
What? Yeah, that is true. SVL had the worst ratio of the team. Wow.
4 misses there by Tridon Gaming, but 8 to equalize from I Can Play, and a big amount of 200s too, to 30, 200s, 3 100s. But then everybody else just very low 200 count, 2 and 5 from Retrox and Reggie, 3 2 2 for the rest of the Vietnamese players. That was higher caliber than what I expected score wise for this team, for both of these teams, in fact.
Yeah. So now back to the drawing board for Indonesia, as we can see here. I'm guessing it's going to be either Dodgers Gadget or Preserve or Carrier.
I mean, Shronyal Zero could also work, I think. Like, if they are not really confident with the other lens, I think that Shronyal is definitely fine.
Yeah, maybe I think Indonesia have a slight upper edge on hybrids.
Well, it really depends on the nature of the hybrid thing. But they're gonna go for
Oh,
Preserve Valkyria anyway, so still long no strategies here, no surprises. No curveballs so far.
yeah. So far, everything has been pretty expected. But what is not expected is what will happen after the maps. Oh, we're seeing a lot of player swapping here.
Yeah, makes sense. This is we went from the most Rise turbo accuracy map of the pool into a technical long no pick. So they are so different in nature that it's pretty normal that we're seeing so many swaps here. Now you of course joining a game for Indonesia alongside Reggie, who's probably gonna stay. And of course WL rejoining the Vietnamese squad here for Preserve or Kyria replacing us really. And I think Tridome Gaming should also be replaced for this one. I'm not fully sure. I think it was Sibilia, Loliel, and someone else who played on the Werewolf House.
I believe
it was
not.
Lottery. I think it was
Yeah.
Lottery, yeah.
So we'll just see if there will be a swap first. I guess not. Shidon's gonna stay in.
Alright then. Seems like we're not gonna have Lottery here. I think it makes some sense. This isn't all that physically demanding, I think, for the most part, compared to Werewolf House. Maybe not as technical rather than physically demanding. This is still a pretty fast map, but patterns are somewhat linear compared to Werewolves. It's more structural, I think it's like more rigid as a map overall, which is sometimes uncomfortable for those LM players that are used to more flowy releases instead.
Yeah, it really hits at awkward positions, especially some of these jacks here too.
I hate
Like,
this
very,
rig.
very slight lead to Vietnam. We go into some inverse.
Yep, 6-way FC so far, but we've seen this in the past. We've seen Vietnam being on the lead for long enough. We've seen a miss from Indonesia, but the team of Vietnam just collapsing at the end, so they have to be very careful here.
And it can happen because the ending of this map can be pretty brutal too.
Both scores are just flickering back and forth here off the back of Sevilia's accuracy compared to Reggie's. They're essentially tied, and this difference seems to be slightly in favor of Vietnam, but there's the fast miss coming from Reggie here. Indonesia repeating the story as we saw on the previous long no map, but we'll see if the story repeats at the end.
Yeah, I think this could be a mirror, but we have to see. If this comes down to this last quarter.
Yep, so far it is identical, and this last section is one of the hardest ones. It requires a lot of coordination too, but we don't have Lottery here, which is one of the players that has missed the previous land pick, so without that many time remaining, that was probably one of the hardest patterns remaining too, and there's no misses whatsoever from any of the players. Vietnam is going to be holding this lead a little bit longer, but Indonesia is charging and getting closer. Their accuracy are climbing up.
It is getting very close. They need to hold on, Vietnam.
Last core jackish long no patterns here, but it's not gonna be enough. Vietnam still holding on through this, and at the last long node over here, they will take the lead of 4,000 points. They'll win this first breakpoint of the match. 200 Tri-Dome Gaming, who finally shows up. The long no pick, the substitution definitely working off for Vietnam here as they take this pick. And if you match all of the scores, they're so close. Dome Gaming only 1,000 points ish ahead of Onta. Reggie and Sivelia both very close too, only 2,000 between them, and Nayu as well. With the last Vietnamese player here, they were all around 2,000 points of difference.
Yeah, well, just that 150 from Wei.
So now Vietnam has the lead, and actually the breakpoint, they just need to pick their own and win those. If they do that, they just take the match at this point. They need 4 more points. So if I have to guess, I'll say, as you said, they start off Andromeda probably. I'll say Strange Program they can go for as well without that many complications. Perhaps even QE.
Yeah, I think Vietnam could be fine on speed, so Angelic Layer is also a fine choice.
Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't be so sure. Like they should have the upper hand, but it is pretty extreme levels of speed, so I'm not sure they're gonna be able to hold their ground on it. But we'll see. I don't think Indonesia is gonna be able to either, so it's just a matter of risk reward. I will go for Strange Program before, which is something I'm pretty sure Vietnam should be able to hold fairly well considering the ratios on snows. Yes, the song is about 14 ppm faster, and that's a huge difference, especially in jump streams. I still think is what they should be going for, especially if they're forcing Iconplay into the map, which is what Indonesia did on the previous jump stream. If Iconplay was struggling with 242, then he's definitely going to have some trouble with 256.
The timer is up. There we go. Andromeda will be the pick. The Core Jacks.
Core jacks and some very minor long jacks at the start.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what we're gonna see.
Those single lane long jacks, yeah. So Vietnam have a better super anime group than Indonesia. So going with
this map is kind of different, I think. Like Super Anime Group is more like a pure core jack map, and this one is, it feels a little bit more technical in my opinion, although Super Anime Group had this very heavy split core jack nature, which is very hard to execute. But because the speed wasn't all that extreme, it was mostly manageable for most teams. South of Andromeda is already hitting this threshold 155 BPM when it gets really fast. So we'll see if this jump in BPM, if this jump in speed is gonna be enough for Vietnam to make this difference, or if they're gonna be starting to struggle already with this difference in speed. Consider they picked this so early into the match, I will expect Vietnam to do very well on this, but maybe they're just banking on Indonesia's capabilities and that of not being physically strong enough to handle a map like this.
I feel like it could be a mix of both. Just knowing Indonesia's weakness on stuff like this and Vietnam being very physically strong as a team. see the first few jacks, you'll see if anyone drops on them.
This map is so old.
It is oldie.
They are the long jacks, they call them long jacks. Not that big of a difficulty. Now I think is the only one who's struggling a little bit when it comes to accuracy here. And then on the left hand,
Oh,
there he
no.
goes, possibly with the first miss.
That's one. That's a huge one too.
Oh.
Oh, that's really dropping a lot.
That's
That's a ton.
massive. That's massive. Ready trades though, so now Indonesia's gonna start to drop this lead as time goes on.
Oh no,
Oh, but 3
Freedom
on gaming as well.
That's one FC to two. Indonesia, never mind, make it 1-1 FC now. With Nayu dropping.
That is too
Everyone's
fast
dropping
for
like
Nayu to
five.
hold on to. Look at his accuracy.
Gosh.
It's so low compared to everybody else. As Reddy's trying to catch up as well as time goes on, but Nayu is just dropping left and right. That's what's keeping Vietnam in the lead. I complain now missing no more full combos on the Indonesian side. It's just Sevilla.
Yeah, this
Freedom.
map gets through very quickly.
Freedom Gaming's accuracy is the strongest of the entire lobby. He has one miss, sure, so does Reggie, but they're holding their accuracies all around. But at this point, the lead from Vietnam is massive. Those misses from Nayu were too strong, and Reggie now drops once more. It's mostly just a matter of accuracy. Sure, Vietnam's on the lead, misses wise, but Nayu's accuracy is so low compared to everybody else that it's just gonna keep Indonesia down, and now there's just a misfest. So much
Yeah.
to be apart. Azri is the only one dropping on Vietnam, but Indonesia is just collapsing all over the
Yeah.
place.
Siberia is still holding the FC all the way. Yeah, and Indonesia are just stepping on landmines now. Vietnam have this. Wow, there's an FC from Siberia. Very strong score.
Very solid. The ratio maybe not the best, but extremely good full combo. They're 987, and 3-Down Gaming not far behind, only 1,000 points off the score by Sevilla. That one miss definitely being the killer, but 130 regular 300. That's an insane ratio as well.
That's a really good ratio, yeah.
And it's 4-1 now. Vietnam's on the lead. They have a very good advantage here. Indonesia needs to get back into the game, win their own pick, and try to hope for a break point. At this point, I think, other than Strange Program, Vietnam is starting to run out of comfortable picks. So Indonesia has to snap, get back into the game, maybe go for Dodger's Gadget, maybe go for Stroniel. And once you win that map, hope for the choke. Try to apply Vietnam on the rise because that's the only chance Indonesia has. And I'm thinking maps like Angelic Layer, maps like Acquaintance, those could be the ones that Indonesia can perhaps make a difference against Vietnam. I don't think they have that many chances in Strange Program, QE, maybe Goblin.
I think Goblin they might have a better chance because
Yeah.
they're going Eagle Seeker.
Okay, interesting Abraxos choice here.
Yeah, first time we see hybrids. Indonesia have done historically well on hybrids, but Vietnam too actually. So this could be pretty close.
Really see on top back as he joining back for Indonesia.
Yeah, we will.
Understandably so. We see Lovely Ella as well joining this time for Vietnam. And we're seeing the Allen lineup for Vietnam here in this particular hybrid, which I guess it makes sense.
It does make some sense, yeah. But it's really up to whether or not they can tank on those rise elements.
Indonesia is still missing a third. I think in Retro X, maybe? Nope, it's gonna be Nayu. After all,
Yeah,
Nayu
it
ready.
will be Nayu, yeah.
We should be good to go very soon here. Eagle Seeker is a bit of a risky pick, I think, from Indonesia. Out of all the choices they had available, this might be the one I'm the least comfortable with for Indonesia to win it. But
I
it
think
is
they
still
might be throwing
okay.
curveball. Yeah, they might be throwing a curveball because after this, regardless, they will still have one more pick anyways. So they can just test the waters here. If they lose this, then they can just resort back to Dodger's Gadget if they want to.
Yeah, that's true, but they lost Percival Kyria, so not sure how
Yeah,
well they will do on a map that is so dense like Dodger's Gadget.
we just have to wait and see.
Well, the fact that they're banking on also Vietnam using the Lone lineup on a map that is somewhat Rise oriented. I mean, it's already has some Rise patterns that they could maybe out accuracy the Vietnamese team, but this Flamma lands and this like bursty lands Rolly to some degree are very tricky to hit, and now is the first one to drop already for Indonesia. His accuracy below the 99% mark here. His keyword struggling a little bit as you claimed earlier in the room, but that's definitely going to be putting Vietnam on the lead very easily and very solidly so. This lead is about 20,000 points now.
Yeah, not many major issues from Vietnam side as well. Lovely L and Tridon just kind of matching in accuracy. Now inside this Rise heavy section here, no problems again from everyone in this lobby. Except for now, you're picking up a drop before the break.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate one as well. Sibelia was very close to hit a miss over there too. He started rushing a little bit. He got a couple 200s of the lens, but it was not enough for a miss to happen. And it's just Nayo the one struggling the most. Otherwise, Indonesia's holding the grounds pretty well here. Reggie and Honta are both pretty much matching Sibelia and Lovely L. Perhaps even outplaying them. But oh, there's a huge drop there by Tridon. But Reggie trades it.
Oh my gosh! That's a very crucial trade from Vietnam side. They really needed a drop immediately and they got it.
Yeah, just after that break, if they had that combo here, they might still be able to keep themselves afloat into this map. But at this point, I don't think there is enough time. There's not nearly enough time. Only a single full combo against two. And as much as Indonesia is trying their best, Vietnam's just proving superior all the way in pretty much every single pick here. They will take the Hybrid 2 Eagle Seeker for themselves with a miss from Reggie at the very end by about 20,000 points. And those were actually fairly close scores. It's just Nayu that is a little bit behind compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
33 to
22,000
hundreds.
points.
Ratio not being all that solid, unfortunately, and even the misses as well. That's putting them again into a breakpoint scenario where they get their own choice to force a match point to some degree. They win this, they will be 6-1, and they just need one more point to claim their victory and advance into the next round of the losers bracket. Well, not the next round specifically, but the next match of the losers bracket. If I recall correctly, it should be against the Philippines, right?
That is correct.
So Philippines waiting for their opponent between these two.
Yeah, and it's ever so slightly edging towards Vietnam. And they are going to pick Goblin. A map that I thought Indonesia would go for.
Also, time to see some tech.
Yep, we're gonna see some tech. Indonesia performed really well on the tech last weekend, but this could be a different story. This is a lot harder. Some burst broken jump streams. One thing to watch out will be the intro trill, which changes BPM and has caught some people up already in this stage. See if that will catch anyone now. Oh, Indonesia calling a timeout?
Oh, I think, yeah, you can only claim them on your pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little bit confused why they wanted to call a timeout now. We are going to see a few changes here. We see Asrieli coming in for Lovely L and Retro EX coming in for Nayu, so a swap of keys. gonna really up and we'll be beginning Goblin very soon. Honestly, if there is a map that Indonesia has a good chance of trying to steal a breakpoint, it's this one.
Yeah, and if they have to, they need to do it now. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's probably going to be too late for them to recover. We have seen reverse sweeps in the past in other game modes, but in Mania, it's such a weird thing to happen. Like, once a
Yeah,
team runs
because
with an advantage, it's so hard to catch up because the matches are usually one-dimensional to some degree. It's not that you have like 7 different rice picks and you only expect to win 4 of them. In general, you're expected to win all of them. Really, there isn't
yes.
that much of a variance. Sure, they test different things and they are definitely harder in different ways. But in general, teams that are better at rice than the other have just better fundamentals overall, and they should be winning most of the rice picks. And that's what usually makes most Mania matches to be either extremely one-sided or very close score-wise, but then just one team coming afloat due to the only breakpoint they managed to achieve in one of the either rice or wrong numbers. Krill, only
Yeah,
2
Ray
struggles
messing
there.
up.
Those were Retrox and Reggie.
Yeah, that was a pack of 200s from Ray. So that will give the lead to Vietnam now.
It's the first
That's
one
the
though,
first miss,
yeah.
yeah.
And she's still gonna not be in the lead because of this, due to the accuracy being so well in favor of Vietnam here. Those 99.88 paying off, but Asrieli finds a miss there, and that might be enough for Indonesia to recover here. The accuracy disadvantage is still huge. That 2 misses is not being enough for Indonesia to get the lead back of the round. Oh, and they're so close.
Oh my
It's going
gosh.
back and forth, and Asrieli is about to hit the combo cap with Retro.
Oh, but
misses.
Retro. Yeah.
Oh, there's another
Oh,
one.
that's
That's right.
cool.
Which we don't.
Full Vietnam team dropping now, but Vietnam still has the lead. Just for pure accuracy.
What's that for combo? Nah, we don't do that here in Vietnam. We're still gonna beat you though with the accuracy advantage that they have. Overall as a team, they're holding super crazy accuracies, and as Indonesia is trying their best to catch up, they're just a little bit step
They
behind.
need one more. There needs to be one more miss from Vietnam side.
Oh, but they're still
my
from Indonesia.
goodness.
Oh, they just
Oh.
throw with that first car. They both miss at the exact same time. On
Oh my
Retrox, that's gonna
God.
be it.
That was a self-destruct and a half. And that is a Vietnam point.
Yeah, it has to. At this point, there's no other way. Vietnam's going to be taking this one, and it's going to be 6-1. Match point now for Vietnam. Indonesia with a miss at the very end there on Tabekasi. Not that it mattered all too much. Ratios really solid from Vietnam. Only a single miss from Sevilla, otherwise there have been a B1SS and 200 count from Vietnam. It's just super good. Only
Yeah,
5
that's a combined
200s across
5.
the
Yeah,
entire team.
that is crazy. Combined 5. And now Indonesia have the pick of their lives.
Yep, Reggie with the full combo not being enough. He was the MVP, but not enough for him to carry the team. He had a very solid ratio too, but now
Yeah.
Indonesia in a very difficult spot. They lose a map and they are eliminated of the tournament. At this point, Vietnam forcing at the very least a tiebreaker. But looking at the picks remaining, I unfortunately don't see that bit of a bright future for Indonesia here.
I think their best bet is probably going to be Dodger's Gadget. Like, that's the best, I think. I don't really see them trying to take anything else.
I honestly
any
think
chance?
Stronia might be better, but it's still very, very difficult. At this point, it doesn't really matter because if you're Indonesia and you somehow break point against Vietnam, you win your own pick, you're gonna be playing Dodger's Gadget and Stronia Zero anyway. Both of them you're gonna be
Yeah.
winning. It doesn't really matter
That
you
is
do it at this point because you don't really have any more picks anyway.
Although I will say that whatever Indonesia picks, if they win it, it might swing some momentum to their side, get some adrenaline in.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, they can't really afford to lose, so it's not that it's gonna
Yeah,
matter.
it's true, yeah. There
They
is a
need to
lot of
win.
stress.
They need to win 2 breakpoints as well. 2 breakpoints and 3 picks of the round. So
In
the 3
April,
picks,
yeah.
3 picks would probably be Dodgers Gadget, Strong Zero, and probably Emeralda. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go for Acquaintance. But then again, they still need to break twice against Vietnam, and they have so many good picks remaining anyway. Like, they still have strange program, and that's it. They don't need anything else.
Yeah. So we are going to have a timeout from Indonesia, in case you're wondering why it's gonna take a while. Just to recruit their thoughts and just hope for the best, whatever pick comes their way.
They're definitely taking their time, which is perfectly understandable. They need to pick this well and to start winning some maps. They don't have any more time. They are like on the edge of being eliminated.
Yep, and they are going for dodges. Yep. Yeah, I feel like this might be a pick where it's just like we don't really have a choice now. This is their best bet, even though it might not be a good one. There is still a little bit of hope. If you're a fan of Indonesia, this is where they really need your energy.
So what is the lineup we're gonna see here? Is 3-Down Gaming gonna stay for Vietnam here, or we're gonna see
I mean,
another player swap? The only map that 3-Down Gaming didn't play is the one that Vietnam actually lost, I think. So that's interesting.
the more you know. Well, I mean, they won Make It Funky now without him.
Oh yeah, but they that's true.
Other than that, yes, you're correct. But they're probably gonna stay in. I mean, they did MVP on Fuser Valkyria, so why not, you know? They might not be the same map, but why not? I mean, L-Lens. Just give it a shot. There we go. So, the typical Indonesian roster for L-Lens, Na, Yue, and Onta Bekasi, we'll be seeing if this hopefully gives them another point and still stay alive.
Oh, now you said well. Again, going to the Shadow Realm. Oh, there it is.
Oh no. No more Shadow Realms, please. Okay, let's wait for client to sync everything up.
Yep, Onta and Sivelia both are not holding full combos to the client being a bit lagged. I think they should be holding their own. There it is.
There we go.
Syncing up finally, and Vietnam's on the lead. Off the back of the accuracy from 3-Down again.
Oh, but lovely! That's a very early drop.
Was that a drop though? I thought the game lagged a little bit. Might have been the client one. Yep, there it is.
No.
It's the client one.
Yeah,
I am so good at this.
I got psyched.
Yeah, and you got debated.
I'm so new to this.
Oh, there's Reggie.
Oh, that is.
That was a legit miss. Pretty
that
sure.
was a legit, yep.
But Lovely L trading it.
That's a legit miss from Lovely L this time round.
3-node inverse being a bit tricky, but
Actually, what happened to Lovely L's accuracy? That's quite a huge drop off.
yeah, and those 3-node inverse is so easy. If you drop it once, you just get screwed over the entire pattern. You're not recovering from it. It's so hard to get back into it. And now it seems like Vietnam's on the lead though. Even with that accuracy deficit, it is a very small advantage for them. But it's starting to flicker back and forth.
We gotta see when the inverse wall hits, because that is where most of the combo, the column lock choke potential comes in.
Well, I will say that the ending is not that hard though. Sure, it is a bit faster than the original 190 BPM, but it's mostly just one force all the way through. This is the last tricky pattern, I think. And now into the full inverse. Oh, there's Reggie with the first drop right on the break of the one force. That's the hard transition. And with that miss, Vietnam is going to be on the lead. Indonesia was starting to catch up, but without any misses. 3-Down though being the first to drop from Vietnam after Lovely L. Is this going to be enough though?
I think there might need to be a little bit more, but if Indonesia is able to climb up accuracy and overtake Vietnam, there is going to be a little bit of a swap here.
A
Oh
little bit of
no.
flick at the end. Do they have enough time here? I don't think they do. Vietnam is holding their own. They don't want to play anymore. They just want to take this, get over it, and win it. But do they have what it takes? It's getting really close, but it seems like edging it out. Vietnam is doing so. And they will take if they hold the combos together. I think at this point it's pretty much decided. This last ending is not that difficult, and Vietnam will be the
Wow.
victorious team here, 7-1 with a full combo by Sevilla, putting them on top of Indonesia. After all, very close score with Onta here,
Very, very close.
but it's not gonna be enough. The difference between Loveliel and Reggie was what made the difference between these two teams here, I feel. And because of it, Vietnam, with another breakpoint on the lens, will be taking their 7th point and the match against the Indonesians. They're knocking them out of the tournament and advancing to face Philippines tomorrow.
Yep, we now know our Southeast Asia matchup tomorrow. That's Vietnam and Philippines fighting for a spot for the top six.
Yep, whoever wins that will be playing the finals map pool, so high stakes over there, absolutely.
Can we also give some conversations to Indonesia? They performed out of their minds this entire World Cup. Like they came in seeded 14th. I didn't expect them to go all the way to semifinals. They managed to dispatch Chile last weekend, and they put up a really good performance against Vietnam as well. So they did extremely well against a team that is favorites to go into the top six. So
Yeah, a team
yeah,
that was
GG.
a team like Indonesia, who was not really expected to come this far into the tournament, they managed to get an incredible run, beating Taiwan, beating Chile, beating Argentina. They just had an amazing run here. Most certainly the biggest upset of the tournament, I will argue, happened
Yes.
between them and Chile. And overall,
Yeah.
very well played for Indonesia.
But yeah, there you go. As you can all see, the losers bracket match up for tomorrow is set. We have Vietnam versus Philippines for our Southeast Asia matchup, and then the non-Southeast Asia matchup, a little bit of a slight revenge match from last year, Japan Korea. Gonna be very sweet to watch. But of course, even with those two losers bracket matches coming up, they won't be shown that soon. We got two winners bracket matches.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, I'm so sad I won't be able to watch this, but oh, I can't. This is gonna be insane.
I get to
United
commentate
Kingdom
this
and
next
Brazil.
match, which is
No,
fun.
I want to commentate, but it's okay. I'll watch the VOD. United Kingdom versus Brazil happening in about 3 hours. If you are able to catch it, you need to catch it. This is going to be a match of your life. This is going to be extremely amazing.
Yeah, this is the match that's going to define the chances that the UK has to actually win the whole thing. I think this will be maybe not as close as most people expect. I still have my money on Brazil fully
Yeah,
and
same.
blindly. But
But-
if there is one time they have to prove themselves, it's against the United Kingdom here. Because if
Yeah.
they lose this, Brazil will be in a very dangerous losers bracket. So will be the UK. So they both really want to win this, secure a top 3 spot, secure a podium spot. So two of the strongest teams in the tournament finally facing each other. The winners bracket featuring the 4 best teams when it comes to seeding here. No surprises there. But this one,
Yeah.
it's a very close call between the two.
Yeah, even though United Kingdom are seeded higher than Brazil, you do not want to count Brazil out. They are, of course, the defending champions, and they want to win it again. The loser of that match will be facing either Vietnam or Philippines. So, oof,
Oof, indeed.
oof, indeed. But yeah, that will only happen in 3 hours. With that being said, anything else you want to add? Other than banners, yes, banners. Get
Banners.
Banner.
Yeah, you should get yourself a banner if you wish to. This might be the last week. Actually, no, there's one more week. We have the final still for getting banners, but you should definitely get some if you can to support your team, your favorite team. It will be staying on your profile. It's a very cool one. You can check on Twitter, on the OSU official Twitter. You should definitely have at least a profile, checking how it looks and whatnot. It's very fancy. I would recommend you get it. It's only 250 cents, USD dollars, of course. And It helps rising the prize pool, funding the prize pool. So if you want to support the teams, not only as a fan but also as a supporter when it comes to the prize pool, then you should definitely do so. We all appreciate it. If you can't, of course, that's also fine. If you happen to pick the winner, though, your banner will stay in your profile for a bit longer, for until OWC, and maybe even slightly longer than that. So maybe you want to support a team you think is gonna win, and you can get that fancy thing for a bit longer.
And it looks cool.
It
And I'm pretty
does.
sure all of you like cool stuff. So you should get it.
It shines.
Yeah, I think that's all from me for tonight. Anyways, because Asia is getting a little bit late. Anything else from you?
I am good. I think this was a great set of matches. We are gonna get into the winners bracket once and for all. Those two matches are gonna be very exciting. So if you can stay around for those, they're definitely worth the time. And until then, we'll see you at 19 UTC for United Kingdom versus Brazil, the hype match of the weekend. Bye
Yep.
bye.
Bye. Rhythm just a click away. See you in 3 hours. Woo.